The following is a little talk that I gave at Ohio State's Fisher School of Business as part of a What If conference for future entrepreneurs. I am occasionally asked to speak at business conferences, which I find strange because I really don't think of myself as a business person. I think of myself as a philosopher who works on websites. Like my philosophy professor friends, I'm not really in it for the money. That's probably why I'm not rich. I have nothing whatsoever against making money and getting rich. It's just not my bag. For me, it's much more interesting to find new ways to organize knowledge online, and I'd like that knowledge to be free to everyone. So that's what I do. So you shouldn't expect this little talk to be filled with business jargon and business acumen, because frankly, that's not what I'm about. This is one of the hardest presentations I have ever had to prepare because I've been asked to speak about something that is no longer exactly my favorite topic in the world to talk about, Wikipedia. I am going to compress a lot of Wikipedia history into a short space and draw lessons out of it. In January 2000, I was finishing my dissertation here at Ohio State. I was looking around for something new to do because my website about the Millennium Bug wasn't going to get much traffic after the Millennium Bug proved to be a dud. I got a new idea for a website and was soliciting feedback on it from internet acquaintances. One of these acquaintances was Jimmy Wales. Wales said, in short, that I should come to work for him as an encyclopedia editor. He gave me the following what-if question. What if we could get everyone in the world together to record what they know in one place? It would be my job to lead the charge in solving that problem. I thought it was an exciting idea, so I soon found myself driving across the country to beautiful San Diego, California. Wales had registered the domain name Nupedia.com, and he gave me only the vaguest of instructions. Make a free encyclopedia project that everyone can contribute to, roughly following open source software principles. I recall that I spent about a month in the planning stages and soon started gathering people together on a mailing list. I did this planning intensely, but I knew that I wouldn't really know everything I needed to make the enterprise work until I had started actually doing it. It's frequently impossible to know what is going to be most important in advance. If you're creative, you can probably think up most of the issues that will affect your enterprise. The problem, however, is that until reality hits you upside the head, it's hard to know which of these many issues is going to be most important. So I decided to just dive in and get help from the volunteers. That's what I do a lot. If you're doing something unprecedented, sometimes you have to dive in and learn as you go. But keep thinking a lot about what you're doing. Keep an open mind. And stay honest about what's happening. That's what I did. And not surprisingly, the first draft, Nupedia, turned out to be not good enough. After about 6 or 9 months, we decided that our encyclopedia's editorial process was far too slow-moving, and it scared off too many contributors. Jimmy Wales and I were well agreed that the system needed to be improved, so we decided to find a way for people to work on articles without so much oversight. The message here is, if you are innovating brand new business processes, be prepared to get rid of your first attempt or greatly revise it. Over dinner one evening in January 2001, a geek friend told me about wikis, websites that anyone could edit, and before I had even seen a wiki, I understood how this might solve the problem we were having with Nupedia. Wiki software was easy to learn, completely open to anyone, and yet robust at solving abuse, or at least the more obvious kinds of abuse. So, as bizarre as the idea seemed at first, a wiki encyclopedia seemed to be a perfectly good idea to try out. But the editorial board of the Nupedia project did not agree, so we had to launch the project under its own name, and the rather bizarre name I came up with was Wikipedia. The platitudinous but still perfectly valid principle we followed was Especially if you are trying to solve an unconventional problem, dare to try an unconventional solution. Wikipedia really took off. We got more new people every day. To encourage them, I proposed a tongue-in-cheek rule. Ignore all rules. If rules make you nervous and depressed and not desirous of participating in the wiki, then ignore them entirely and go about your business. This emboldened a lot of people, and we grew and grew. That first year was very exciting, but after about 6 or 9 months, there were a number of people who were constantly abusing others, breaking perfectly sensible rules, and generally acting like jerks. Since I was in charge of the site, that was my job, Jimmy Wales was busy managing Bombas.com, I came under attack. Frankly, I didn't have a very good strategy for defending myself. If I had thought a bit about it, I would have considered this. Have a strategy for defending yourself from attack before you start any risky enterprise. This was really my own fault. It turns out that the aforementioned jerks took my ignore all rules rule to heart and were dead set on making Wikipedia as anarchistic as possible, despite the fact that it was working extremely well with a few common sense rules. Where I really was at fault was in not setting up a sensible system of community governance. I had bought the whole misguided line that wiki communities could be managed completely from bottom up without any process for designating who had what authority, and this turned out to be a problem and continues to be a problem for Wikipedia. Well, no big enterprise can be managed that way. So we couldn't escape the consequences of the power vacuum.